Hello, everyone. I hope all of you are doing great. Welcome to another exciting episode of The Voice of the Educators. I'm the host, Johan Canizales, and the professor. So, today we're going to dive into a topic that is very interesting for us in an academic way because that is changing our way to teach and learn. I'm talking about artificial intelligence tools in education. Okay, so today I'm not alone. I'm not talk alone. We have some incredible guests for today, and we are going to see different kind of perspective about it, about artificial intelligence in education. So for that reason, we have a student, we have a teacher, and we have an employer. So we're going to discuss, debate a little bit about it. So we're going to focus on challenges and opportunities. So in this moment, all of you are going to introduce yourself and welcome and thanks for coming to this amazing podcast. Hello, everybody.
Hello, Professor Johan. Thank you very much for having us here. I feel really grateful for this opportunity to talk about this important topic. It's very challenging as well, but it's quite amazing to have you, all of you guys in here.
For sure. So we're going to say
Definitely.
hello.
You're Karen, right?
Yeah, I am Karen. Nice to
Okay.
meet you. I'm sorry
Nice
if
to
my
meet
name
you.
doesn't shows on the screen. It's just that I'm using another account. It's like somebody lent me a laptop because my laptop was not working. But the
No
important thing
worries.
is that I was able to make it.
Karen, what's your role?
Okay,
Well, I'm a student. In
Okay.
fact, I study languages at the Educators University. I'm currently coursing 8th semester, and I'm 21 years old. Nice to meet you all.
Amazing. So let's continue.
Nice to meet
okay,
you.
good evening, Johan. Thank you for having us in this beautiful podcast. My name is Juan Jose. I'm a teacher of a secondary school in a rural area here in Huila. I
Amazing.
teach from I teach for students from 6th to 11th grade. So I
Amazing.
guess it's going to be a great discussion today. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome, Juanjo. Thanks to you.
Hi, John. Thanks for having us. My name is Maria Sonia, and I work for the recruiting industry
Oh,
in the
you're a
education.
recruiter, so maybe I can
Yeah,
send you my CV after the podcast.
definitely.
For sure. We
Definitely.
have job
Great.
opportunities here in this podcast. This
Of
podcast is
course.
incredible. We can do everything we
Okay,
want.
great. I
Okay.
appreciate that, Maria.
Amazing. So, well, we're going to start with a general question. Okay, so pay close attention to
Johan,
the
but
question.
what about you, Johan? What about you?
Oh, for sure, for sure. I'm gonna explain to you right now. Yes, I'm a professor at the University Sapienza in Rome, Italy. So I have been working as a professor at the university for 4 years ago. So yeah, I have a lot of experience with my boys, with all the guys that are practicing to be teachers too. So well, we're going to see different point of view here, and that will be something very interesting for today. So we're going to start with a general question, and that is basically, how do you feel using or incorporating artificial intelligence tools in could be in your classroom or could be on education in general. So we're going to focus on challenges and opportunities. So who wants to start to share the point of view about it?
Uh, I, I like to get started
For
if
sure,
there is
Karen, go
no
ahead.
problem.
Go ahead.
Okay, well, okay, to starters, I just like to say that Gemini has been a game changing for my learning process because I've been able to get to know more information, to do some more research, to do the extra mile, to get to know how to explore my learning skills. And also to get to understand even some topics, maybe some topics that are a little bit challenging for me, but at the same time, artificial intelligence is also challenging. Okay, first because it's something pretty much new, and the things that I know about artificial intelligence is because I like to investigate myself, and I like to be independent in that way. So it's not like there are trainings, or some training for students of how to use it or how to use it responsibly. But I try to use it in a very good way, not to make the artificial intelligence to do my stuff, all my things, but to help me to get to the point that I want to reach. So I see at the same time an opportunity here, because maybe I can use my experience to help other students to guide them, like in the way in which, keeping into account my short experience, like to guide them in the way in which they can use it, like giving the right prompts, like, using it in a better way in which they can extend their creativity and not to reduce the creativity. Not to rely completely on 100% on the artificial intelligence.
Okay, so you are saying that you use artificial intelligence, but not at all. That is just like we can say that it's like kind of key points on your information, or are you deteriorating your skill in that way? Let's be honest.
Well, I use it very responsibly, I believe. Because I know that if I don't strive myself, if I'm not committed to myself, I won't be learning anything if I rely totally on the artificial intelligence. Because maybe I can hand out an amazing assignment, but I would be deceiving myself. So I wouldn't like that. I really like to learn, and I want to learn, and I want to be evolving as the world is evolving. So I try to adapt to use artificial intelligence as a tool that helps me to continue and to reinforce, to strengthen my learning process, not to deteriorate it.
Amazing.
So that is the point in which I see an opportunity.
Amazing.
Yeah, teacher.
Okay, yeah, and also to complement what Karen is saying, is that for us also, Johan, that we are your professor and I'm a teacher, I guess that our opportunity is to foster students to critical think and to emphasize in our classes the importance of the original work, in order for them to use AI as a tool, but not to rely only on it. So I guess it's very important for us to emphasize the importance of to original content and to think for ourselves.
Okay, so you check the information that you extract from artificial intelligence. Let's talk about GPT, ChatGPT.
Of course,
yes?
it is important to double check. I know that I am not a teacher. Well, I am a teacher to be, but I consider myself a teacher right now. You get me? But okay, so if I double check it, being a teacher to be, being a student. So I believe that you as a professor and you as a teacher do the same. Because it's like, like we teach not only by speaking, yes, but also by showing our students like how professional, we are, and how professional we handle, like all the contents and all the classes that we are preparing for them. Because students have access, students who are learning languages, have also access to internet, and they can also check, and double check that information. If a teacher happens to give wrong information, the student is going to be like, why is it that the teacher is telling me the contrary? You see? So
well, that's true.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true, and that is something that is happening too.
And now that Karen mentions it about what you guys were saying about challenges and opportunities, it's like somehow I think it creates a lot of expectations on teachers. So you should be constantly training, and on my side as an employer, I need to be constantly getting updated on what are the latest trends. But it's not like suddenly the purpose of education is entertainment, because it is not. Because let's remember that students are supposed to have processes. So as a challenge, we have like these high expectations in the class. Of course, we should enjoy teaching and everything. And when it comes to opportunities, I believe it makes processes easier at the same time. It makes everything faster, and then we're more productive in that way.
Yeah, for sure. Talking about it, I can say also that I have a similar situation related with Juan, because as a teacher, well, I'm professor. In the moment that we are teaching for our students, we have to know that in this moment there is other generation, and they are growing up with artificial intelligence. So that a challenge for me specifically is that basically I have to adapt my pedagogy, because I'm a professor that really like to read a lot, but all my classes, my lectures, and all of that, I have to present it in another way, because I have to innovate too. I mean, I have to grow also with the artificial intelligence, because we have to connect it, no? Or what do you think about it, Juan? In that case,
Oh, okay, I was going to ask you the same question. Yeah, okay,
okay.
but I was about to ask you, how do you, in which way do you use Gen AI tools? Which tools do you use, and how do you use it to your classroom? Do you prepare it? Because I use it for preparing my classes and for creating material. And but how about what about you, that you are a professor from a university? I
Yes.
was thinking just
Yes.
getting the question.
Yes, in that way, I have to be honest with you, on artificial intelligence that I normally use. It is like ChatGPT, I use it, and also different kind of tools, for example, or web page that are, for example, Padlet or something like that. I mean, I work with these
Okay.
students that, yeah, we try to do different kind of discussions about it, so we have to change our way. So in that part, I
Yeah.
try to use an interactive way to be like more comfortable for my students and be connected in that way. So yeah, that is basically what I do in that part. Karen, what do you want to say?
Okay.
Professor, thank you. So I wanted to ask you something about this thing that you were mentioning about using artificial intelligence in your classrooms, in your classes, sorry, to make your teaching more interactive with students. So I was wondering if your students receive a previous training to get to know how these websites that are articulated to artificial intelligence, um, in the way in which they, I mean, it's like as you use it in class to make it interactive. So do they know how to use Gem AI previously? Do you train them? Like, how is the process for them to
Well,
follow your lead?
in that way, what normally I do is that in the moment I'm going to present or to introduce this tool with them, maybe there are some students that know it, and maybe we have other ones that know. So in that way, to be clear with all my students, with all the classroom, I try to explain them before to start to do this kind of activities, because in the moment that we're in the classes and we're participating or discussing about it, they have to, all of them have to know the information, have all of them have to know how to use it. So that's the reason why we use before it. We practice before it.
Thank you. And I have one more question, and this question is for you too, professor and teacher. I'm
Okay.
really interested in your answers.
Okay.
Like, what should your students know about using AI responsibly?
Okay. Juanjo, would you like?
Okay. Yes. In my case, using well, the Gen AI tools in my classroom or for my students, it has been like a problem, because they still do not know how to use it consciously. And also, it's very easy for me to know when they are using Gen AI tools, because I know what is the level of my students, and I know what they are able to do. So when they use those different tools, I notice that they are not able to do that. So I guess that the challenge for us as teachers is like to create that conscious in on students to really use it on a responsible way. Those tools are really useful for us, for teachers, for students, for employers, but we have to really use it consciously and know that for they are here to help us, not to do the whole job.
Okay, yeah, that's true. That is something similar in my situation. But before, I would like to know about something, Maria. Maria, that is an interesting topic related to you as an employer, because we would like to know what about that artificial intelligence present nowadays in that way in your role. So could you please share with us like challenges and opportunities that we can have with this kind of artificial intelligence?
And maybe Maria, I'm so sorry for interrupting you. I have another question for you now that we are asking you. So I like you to tell us what's your opinion about this. Do you think that employers, or do you personally get worried that maybe Gen I may produce or impact negatively on the production way of the employees that you hire, or maybe in a creative way that they can be or become less creative?
Okay. About Johan's question about my perspective, well, I think Gen AI, which is a feature of AI, is just like generating content based on programming. Well, I believe it makes processes faster as long as, well, when I have the job board in LinkedIn, LinkedIn, right? The platform for connecting people in the job industry. And then in the job board, I post the skills that the candidate needs to have. And then it has the key responsibilities and the compensation and everything. And then that being said, it has certain qualities. So then the employee or the future employee, yes, which is looking for the job, should have those things highlighted in the profile. The problem with that is that with AI, then it's going to help maybe the wrong candidates get that filter. Maybe it's going to help the good candidate as well to get the filter. But at the end of the day, it's a human process because they need to get an interview. Yes. And then it's a human process. So it's at the end of the day, me who makes the decision. And about Karen's question, I think it can hinder creativity, but I think it definitely makes everything more productive. But then the more you rely on AI, the more you become dependent on it. So there are some things that you are supposed to do with your job, and then that's what the interview is for. As long as the person is willing to learn, I think everything is fine.
Thank you so much, Maria, for your point of view, for your moment to talk. That's amazing. Yeah. Well, now we don't have many time, so I would like to know something. I would like to listen to you guys. Could you please tell me what is the conclusion that we can have in this moment about it?
I'd like to share something that I believe that we all have in common as a challenge, and that is getting to know deeper, getting to know more and more how artificial intelligence works, how we can continue adapting to Gen AI. So that is one of the challenges that we have, but also I see it as an opportunity for us to keep growing and for us to keep, having this relationship between it. It's like keeping a balance.
Okay, amazing.
Definitely. Let's continue having critical thinking and double checking everything, and I think we'll be fine.
Amazing.
Continue thinking, and we'll be okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you so much for coming. We don't have any time to continue, so we're going to continue in the second part of this podcast. Remember, the voice of educators. See you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you so much.
See you next time.
Thank you so much.
Bye bye.
Okay.